My girlfriend posted, "Finally free and living my best life on a yacht with an older man." I commented, "Looks fun." Then I sent the man's wife the location from her Instagram posts. Her daily live cam was suddenly turned off. If you love petty justice meets corporate karma, stick around to the end. This one goes from yacht selfies to boardroom executions real fast. I'm Armin, 32, and I stare at spreadsheets for a living. Data analyst. It's not glamorous, but it funds decent coffee, a clutter of board games, and, until very recently, date nights with my girlfriend, Ria, 28. We were 3 years in. We'd had the talk about moving in, a shared dog someday, that soft focus life. The plan, as I understood it, was simple. She was going on a wellness retreat with her college friends. No phone detox, find your center, quinoa, and quiet. I even paid half as an early birthday present because I'm thoughtful like that, and also, frankly, gullible. Last Tuesday, procrastinating on a report, I opened Instagram. One swipe, and there she was, Ria on the gleaming deck of a serious yacht, polished teak, chrome rails you could see your soul in, champagne flute pinched between two manicured fingers, laughing toward someone just out of frame. Sunset dripping gold behind her. Caption: "Finally free and living my best life. Number yacht. Life number blessed. Number new beginnings. New beginnings. Cute." The location tag pulsed live, an island a few hundred miles down the coast. Nothing rustic about it unless you consider a private chef rustic. And then I saw the other tag, at Magnus Car Official. 50-something square jaw, tan, that screams owns a golf club, feed full of charity galas, partner photo ops, and him on that same yacht wearing that same grin of men who've never peeled their own orange. Married, very publicly, to @Isabel Blooms, classy page of prize-winning blooms, grandkids, and sunlight-soaked captions about soil pH and kindness. I'm a data guy. First instinct, archive the evidence. Screenshot Ria's post, Magnus's profile, the live location. I don't do yelling, I do files. I opened Isabel's page. Bio. Wife, mother, grandmother. I believe in kindness and good soil. I sent a message. "Hello, Mrs. Carr. My name is Armin. I believe my girlfriend is currently on your husband's yacht. Here is the location from her public Instagram post, attached the screenshot." Then, for the peanut gallery, I commented under Ria's photo. "Looks fun." Hope the wellness retreat is going well, and I set my phone, face down, turned back to my spreadsheet, and finished the revenue variance analysis my manager wanted before COB. Emotional outbursts are inefficient. Data wins. Update 1. 5 hours later, the ripple hit. Ria's yacht post evaporated. Her account went private. The live location tag died. The daily live stream on Magnus's deck, some breathy morning routine by the sea thing, went dark. At midnight, my phone lit up like a fire alarm. Voicemails stacked. Texts stacked higher. "Ria, how could you do this? You ruined everything. You psycho, you stalker. You have no idea what you've done." Ria, "Peter is furious. His wife is threatening to leave." "This is your fault, Ria. He was going to help me. He has connections. You destroyed my future, not a single sorry. Not a single, I lied to you. Just rage that I had tripped her new beginnings." Then a new number. Magnus Carr himself. "Peter, you have no idea who you're dealing with, kid. Pray we don't cross paths. Men don't get where I am without knowing how to handle little problems like you." I saved everything. Screenshots named and nested. /Ria/day1 _ texts /Peter/threat01.png. The folder began to breathe. By morning, the adrenaline had cooled. I packed Ria's things, dresses curled like commas, a parade of serums, a vertical library of self-help. Manifest your best life, the art of receiving, Girl, stop apologizing. I wrapped a mug she loved that read, I am the storm. Irony should come with a warning label. Doorbell. Rhea. Eyes swollen, dress wrinkled, hair that used to perform ballet now doing slapstick. She pushed past me. We need to talk. We really don't. You had no right. She slapped her palm against my table. It rattled. That was private. You posted it on public Instagram with a live location tag, I said. That's the opposite of private. Isabel is a nightmare. She canceled Magnus's cards. She called his board. She's trying to ruin him. Sounds like a you problem. You owe me. She stepped closer. I wasted 3 years with you. You're boring. No ambition. I was settling. Then you sabotaged my chance at a better life. You owe me $5,000. I blinked. For what? For the emotional distress you caused and for the money I lost on the retreat you made me miss. I paid for half that retreat, I said. The one that was actually a yacht rendezvous with a married man. Semantics, she snapped. Peter was going to pay me back. Now he can't. His witch of a wife froze him out. So you owe me, I walked to the boxes. Here's your stuff. You should go. You really aren't giving me the money? No. You'll regret this, she said. I'll tell everyone what you did. I'll make sure all our friends know you're a controlling monster. Okay, I said, because sometimes the most efficient answer is the shortest one. She hauled the boxes of manifested dreams to the hall and left. I locked the door, exhaled, and for 12 minutes thought the storm had passed. It hadn't even made landfall. Update 2. If you've ever been in a group chat, you know the violence of the silent, you no longer have access. Rhea orchestrated it with the efficiency of a PR crisis pro. I was exiled from our mutual friends thread within the hour. The narrative arrived prepackaged. Noah, mutual friend. Dude, what happened? She says you were tracking her phone, like you used your data skills or something, that you stalked her to the boat. She posted a live location publicly, I said for the 15th time. I never hacked anything. I commented, but she says you've always been jealous, controlling, data stalker. People are believing it. Rhea knew exactly enough about my job to weaponize it. Data analysis became spycraft in her script. A few friends bought it. A few drifted to the edges. The texts calling me a creep didn't bother me as much as the quiet unfollows from people I'd helped move apartments at 1 a.m. Magnus's threats went covert. Spoofed calls that hung up the second I answered. A food delivery at 2 a.m. that I hadn't ordered. Quiet chills intended to unnerve. I filed reports with the local police. We'll document it, the officer said. Keep logging. So I did. /police/incident _ref_number ... Then the real move landed. Email from my boss. Can you come to my office, please? Inside, Dana, my manager, iron-willed and fair, and Samir, HR, kind eyes behind rectangular glasses. A printed email sat between them like a loaded trap. Dana. We received an anonymous complaint alleging you used company tools to stalk and harass a former partner. Samir. We have to treat it seriously. I read the complaint. It was impressive. Written in polished corporate ES, it outlined hypotheticals of how someone like me might cross-reference public social feeds with private data, how a data professional could monitor a target's activity, how a pattern of possessive behavior might indicate instability. It asked for a psychological evaluation. It was devious, specifically because it was plausible. Dana. We'll need to take your workstation for a forensic audit. Paid leave until it's done, I sat there, skin cold, thinking of every harmless convenience I'd committed. Had I ever checked my personal email on the company Wi-Fi, printed a boarding pass with my personal concert ticket behind it? That last one, yes, a year ago. Nothing illegal, but audits don't care about vibes. I went home and did what I do, printed the complaint, annotated it like a crime scene. I read it 5 times. The 4th time, I saw it. A single sentence that did not belong. For example, an employee could cross-reference public social data with our Project Larkspur client database. Our what? I'd never heard of Project Larkspur at our company. We named things like RevMap_Q3 and Client 360. Nightingale sounded like someone's delicate ego trying to make data sound romantic. I opened my laptop, hours of searching trade journals, investor reports, press releases, and then a small, forgettable line in a 2-year-old industry rag, Car Dynamics, Magnus's company, had announced a new data initiative for high-value clients. Internal code name, Project Larkspur. People are creatures of habit. Peter couldn't resist flexing knowledge. He'd used his company's internal code name inside an anonymous complaint about mine. I printed the trade article, highlighted Nightingale, and slid it into my file. /Peter/smokinggun_Nightingale.pdf. 3 days later, Dana called me back in. Forensics had completed their audit. Yes, they found my ancient concert ticket in a print spool with a work boarding pass. HR frowned like disappointed parents. They started to talk. I raised a hand and laid out my counterfile. Screenshot of the complaint. Project Larkspur, highlighted. Trade journal clipping linking Nightingale to Car Dynamics. Screenshots of Magnus's initial threats. Police report numbers. Fraud alert email for a card attempt made 2 days after my comment. My note: this is not an anonymous complaint. This is targeted retaliation by the CEO of Car Dynamics, whose affair I disclosed to his wife using public social media posts. The oxygen evacuated the room. Samir's eyes moved from my printouts to Dana's face and back like a tennis match. The concert ticket shrank to a pixel. Dana: we'll be in touch. Emotion is inefficient. Evidence, on the other hand, does exactly what it's supposed to. Update. Tratur. Chai. Corporate war rarely explodes. It hisses. It tightens screws quietly, then leaves the room. Our legal team didn't file a lawsuit. They drafted an 18-page cease and desist letter that was a love letter to leverage. Addressed to the Car Dynamics Board of Directors, Carbon copied to Peter himself, the letter traced the timeline like a forensic trail. My girlfriend's public posts, the live location, my comment, Magnus's threats, the smear, the HR complaint with the Nightingale tell, the police logs, the fraud attempt. It named retaliation, tortious interference, harassment, and crucially, breach of fiduciary duty. It didn't threaten to sue Peter. It threatened to expose the board's liability if they didn't take decisive corrective action. Boards don't sweat easily. They sweat at 2 things: criminal exposure and headlines. A CEO using insider company knowledge to try to get a private citizen fired is both. 2 weeks later, Car Dynamics posted a polite press release. Magnus Carr will be stepping down to pursue other opportunities and spend more time with his family. Classic corporate execution. No fireworks, no trial. But his email stopped working, and his photos on the yacht grew dated. In our industry, word travels at the speed of a whisper. It was understood. He'd been escorted out the long door. Isabel, the woman with the roses, handled her side with pruning shears. She filed for divorce with a filing that had the voltage of a thunderstorm. With the affair documented and his vindictive paper trail, her attorneys didn't need to argue. They needed to total. The settlement will fund generations of grandkids to crush grapes for crafts on that same deck. Ria's plan collapsed without Magnus's halo. Her smear campaign unwound in the group chat as easily as she had tied it because I sent Noah the package. Screenshots, complaint, Nightingale, HR finding, legal letters. I didn't add commentary. Data doesn't editorialize. It just sits there with gravity until the orbit adjusts. Her small agency had a morality clause. When clients pinged the owner asking about her yacht content, they reviewed her profile, reviewed the whispers, and parted ways. She tried to pivot to lifestyle girl who survived a hater. The likes were pity. The comments weren't kind. Me? Dana called me in with legal and HR. "We regret the stress you've endured," legal said, translating as, "We won," quietly. Dana slid a letter across the table. Commendation for analytical acuity and professional integrity under pressure. She grinned and said, "You ever think about moving into forensics?" "I like my spreadsheets," I said. It's the truth. They don't lie to me. I went home and watered my one plant, the fern that likes lo-fi beats. I slept for 10 hours. I woke up and made coffee like nothing had happened because, for me, the best revenge has always been quiet. Final update. Karma rarely taps you on the shoulder. It routes an email. It posts a caption that sounds like the sea. On at Isabel Bloom's, I saw a picture of 2 sticky-fingered grandkids on the deck of that yacht, or one very much like it. A plate of cookies between them, ice gleaming in glasses that did not contain champagne. Caption: Making new, better memories. Family first. True freedom. I smiled, not because she won, but because she turned off the live cam and turned up her life. The soil there looked good. A week later, HR sent a short note. Audit closed. No policy violations. Please accept our apology for the disruption. I printed it and slid it into work/HR_audit_clear.pdf. The folder closed with a satisfying click. I matched on a dating app for the first time in a month. Ria's profile flickered past. Same yacht photo, same pose, caption slightly different. Healed girl era. I swiped left and didn't feel triumph or revenge, just the feeling of air finally passing through lungs that had been holding. People assume the moral is, don't cheat. Sure. But the deeper lesson is this. In a world that rewards loudness, there is a particular power in staying calm, collecting the facts, and finding the single brittle point in a bully's story. A live location tag. A code name slipped into a fake complaint. A board that fears fines more than gossip. You don't need to scream to be heard. You just need to be precise. Ria posted, "Finally free." She meant free of me. In a way, she was right. But the person who got free was me. Free of the lie I'd been dating. Free of the weaponized narrative that tried to make me the villain in a story written by a man who signs his anonymous letters with his company's secret projects. Now, when I log into my spreadsheets, the numbers still do what they've always done. Line up, misbehave, tell the truth if you interrogate them gently. I brew my coffee, answer Dana's pings, send my reports. Somewhere on a deck that used to host champagne flutes, there are grandkids licking sugar from their fingers while a woman who loves soil smiles in the background. Somewhere in a big house with fewer pictures on the wall, another woman argues with a ring light about resilience. And somewhere in a glass office, a board calibrates severance to the decimal point and erases a nameplate off a door. My live cam is off. My life is on. If you want more stories where the receipts do the talking and karma shows up in a suit, drop a data wins in the comments. Hit subscribe, and I'll bring you the next corporate clean revenge soon.